Good afternoon to you all. Solid waste is the unwanted solid products arising from agricultural, industrial, domestic, and commercial activities. In Sri Lanka, about 7,500 metric ton waste is generated per day. In 2017, open dumping caused a catastrophe at Meetaramulla. Many lives were lost and thousands of residents were impacted. Improper waste disposal also leads to spread of vector-borne diseases, destroys the scenic beauty, and threatens the lives of animals. Exposure to gases and toxins produced by open burning increases the risk of heart diseases, aggravates respiratory ailments, and causes damage to nervous system. Prolonged exposure leads to cancers. So, to overcome these health, social, and environmental issues, it is necessary to minimize waste generation and dispose waste in proper manner. Often, waste generated in institutions are largely being ignored, but in reality, the institutional waste contributes a significant amount of total waste generation. Educating about proper solid waste management, even to the students in A-level classes, has been identified as a nationally important policy by Ministry of Mahawal Development and Environment. Hence, our research was carried out on knowledge, attitudes, and practices on solid waste management among advanced level biology students. A descriptive cross-sectional study was carried out among 119 A-level biology students attending a private institution using stratified sampling method. A self-administered questionnaire was used to assess knowledge, attitude, and practices. Total scores and mean scores were calculated. Students who got scores equal or above the mean score were considered as having satisfactory knowledge, attitude, and practices. Independent t-test was used to compare two means in the sample and Pearson chi-square test to compare categorical variable. Correlation between knowledge, attitudes, and practices were determined using Pearson correlation test. Results. Knowledge was satisfactory among 50.4% of the students, but their knowledge on segregation of waste was poor, and only 31.1% of the population knew that number 3 plastic produced with PVC is not suitable for food storage. Attitudes were satisfactory among 57.1% of the population. However, their attitudes towards reducing and reusing waste were poor compared to attitudes towards recycling. Practices scores were satisfactory among 54.6% of the students, with a significantly higher mean practices score in females due to higher usage of alternatives. The knowledge was positively correlated with practices. In conclusion, the overall knowledge, attitudes, and practices on solid waste management was not adequate. Mean practices score of the population were below 50% of the total scores, and knowledge, attitudes, practices were satisfactory only in approximately half of the population. The knowledge on food plastic and attitudes related to reduce and reuse were inadequate among two-thirds of the population. So, it is evident that attention is needed in promoting correct attitudes and education on solid waste management. Thank you.